importance of preserving the historical buildings? Many steps, importance, actually there's a lot. But before that, I would like to define what is historical buildings. Well, historical buildings are buildings from the last time or the last centuries, decades, like it's from the old times. And it is an old building which actually contains a lot of history by just staring at it. What? I would like to tell what is the importance of preserving historical buildings.
You can contribute.
First, it has intrinsic value. It has a very magnificent structure, and some historical buildings are very strong until it has been stable until these very days. And it has gone through the very fiercest weather. So, what do you think about my point, Alia?
I agree with your point. I think historical buildings has been to lots of damage and a lot of fierce weather. So, I think you're right.
Like Manisha said, like the historical buildings has gone through a lot of piercing weathers. Example, like the Leaning Tower Pizza, it leaned because of like the underground. The tanah was not tanah, but the ground was not like stable enough, and like it just went like this.
Okay.
Okay, so other than that, it explains the history of last time. It has actually gone through a lot of memories, even though it's just one building. I think it tells a lot by just standing there. We can just like picture the history by, if we visit the building, we will know more and what happened during our great ancestors' time. Then I think it explains the heritage and culture, and I think it is a good thing if we just preserve the buildings, and we should not let other people vandalism their buildings. What's your point, Alia?
Like what Monisha said, historical buildings are physical links to our past. It's not just about saving bricks, but about saving the layers and layers of information about our lives and those of our ancestors. Without that, we erase the stories of our past, as if the people who came before us never even existed.
Like Alia said, we should not just save the layers of bricks. It means like the people that built the building worked hard, and some people have died because of like accidents, and we should not like just vandalize it whatsoever, because we need to protect it, like preserve it for our economy and for the next generation to learn more and like see it. And because the materials built that was like used to build the building is like very, like you cannot find it anywhere.
Well, like Tan said, it is true, because if we don't destroy the buildings, the new generations, or like the generations which is going to come, they will still know the history. And if we destroy it, they won't know anything about the building. They'll be clueless. And the only resource to get information about a building is by not seeing it through the internet. So it's better that we see clearly about the building. And I also think that new generations should also learn on what our great ancestors did for our country and why they built the buildings. They built buildings for a reason. So I think we shouldn't be destroying, such as the teenagers. we should not burn the buildings such as the latest issue, which is teenagers who burn the Tafi schools. And this is because I think it is of the stress they are having, so I think that we should avoid this from happening. So, do you agree, Alia?
Yes, I agree, because the next generation will want to learn about the history of our country and just see the building by itself and see the stories that it had been told, and they will know the stories and the history of each building that they visit.
Like Alia said, the historical buildings and the history of it should the next generation should learn it. So we should like include it in school textbooks so that the children can learn about the buildings. What do you think, Manisha?
Well, I think your idea is good, and I would like to add a little bit more to both of your points. I would like to add that if the building is like so pretty and it's very like historical, some tourists will get attracted, and this can increase our economy's growth and can also increase Malaysia's economy. So I think that this can also have like a lot of like money value, something like that. And if more tourists are attracted, then Malaysia could be like famous. So we can introduce Malaysia to the whole wide world. We could prove that Malaysia is a good country. And actually we have a lot of buildings in Malaysia, and I think it's a good idea that we can attract tourists. So what do you think, Alia? Do you have any other points you would like to say?
I think it's good to preserve the historical buildings, because tourists will come to our country and it will help build an income. So we can still preserve the country and maintain it in its best condition.
Do you know how to like preserve it? We should not. This is how to do it. We should not vandalize it ourselves, and we should tell the government to stop vandalizing. Stop vandalism. We should also make campaigns, like the government should talk about. We should save. No, we should preserve the buildings, and we should put up posters saying that preserve the buildings, and we should increase security to like preserve it.
Well, I would like to add also to your points. So these days I heard that like my friends, some people these days they just hate the subject history in school. So actually this is one of the ways to inculcate the spirit of history in themselves, by just like your parents can play a role. They can, like on the weekends or school holidays, they can invite their friends or families or their family members to go to any historical buildings in Malaysia, such as Kelly's Castle, which is I think in Perak. And the students and children will be like so interested, they feel like finding more about it, and by that way they can love history and they won't do anything to the historical buildings. So, what do you guys think?
I think it's good that school organize a trip to a few historical buildings, like in Malacca we have Ifamosa, so that they will be eager to know more about the history of each building, and that they will not vandalize it, and they will be touched by what their country has been through all this time.
I agree with Alia, because like the people had like risked their lives, and I really respect them because they have like built us a wonderful buildings all over the world, and the people from all over the world should preserve it as well as possible. There is like a lot of buildings in the world, which is like Monisha said, Kelly's Castle.
Yes.
And
that's right.
there's the St. Paul's Church. the KL railway station, and the famous the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Well, like Tan said, I would like to tell my opinion also. As she said that there are lots of historical buildings. We can also do trips, as Alia said, to historical buildings, and I think that it is a good idea. And I think that I wish that I could, when I go overseas, I would promote about Malaysian historical buildings to other tourists and to other countries so that they will know more. They'll feel oh, it's so nice, interested, and they will one day visit Malaysia. And I hope that I will when I come back from overseas or what, I will give good deeds to our country by attracting more tourists. So I think it's a good idea. So, what's your opinion?
Yes, I also think it's a good idea because we can promote our beloved country, Malaysia, to other countries so that they will be interested to come to our country. And I really want to support Malaysia because we are citizens of Malaysia, and we all love Malaysia, and we want to make it Malaysia popular so a lot of people know about our country.
Like Alia said, we should share our buildings all around the world. We can also share it by posting it on the internet. If we make it on posters, we will waste paper, so we can just do it on the internet to not waste papers. Yeah. What do you think, Michelle?
Like Tan said, that it is actually good to have social media because we can promote our country to the other countries, and they will when they scroll down, you'll see they'll feel interested, very interested, and they will tend to visit our country. And I would like to also add that since the historical buildings shows that what our great ancestors did, such as Tunku Abdul Rahman, he fought for independence. I also hope that one day all of us can also do the same to Malaysia and have good deeds and make Malaysia just a wonderful country for everyone to live in. So what's your time?
Yeah. This time?
I just have a question. Okay. Now you were discussing about preserving historical buildings. Can you just anybody elaborate on is preserving historical buildings in relation to our culture, to the culture? Why is it important to preserve the historical buildings in relation to culture?
Well, I think this is because they will know more about your culture, and they will feel more interested, they will learn more about your culture, they will learn something that they didn't know before, and they will have new knowledge and information for themselves. And I think it's actually good because it also you can also tell your friends about this, so your friends also will know about the culture, and also they will feel excited because they are learning new things. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Like what Nisha said, we can tell our friends, we can explain our culture to them so that they're interested, and we should preserve our buildings because it is the heart and soul of our country. Yeah.
I agree with them both because maybe we don't know a few other traditional clothes, maybe traditional food. So when we look at these historical buildings, we will know more information that no one has ever told us, and we can tell our friends, and they will be interested and they will be excited to learn more, and they will be I never knew about this, and this is really interesting, and it is really good for everyone.
Alright, my question is this. Each of you just give me one important factor why we should preserve our historical buildings. Just one point. Why is it important to preserve our historical building?
Well, I think so because like we will know more about the history and we'll know about the culture, we'll know about the buildings more. It's not just going through the social media or internet. It's better to just go there. And as they say, people dies, but the historical buildings can just stand there. They will not be destroyed, and they also have stories to tell us. And when we look at them, we will like when we are deep in our thoughts, we will know nearly a lot about it.
Like the building is like, as just now I said, it is the heart and soul of our country. If we don't have that historical building or it's not preserved, it's broken down, our country will feel sad because all the other countries has these beautiful buildings and we're just with nothing. Okay?
I agree with what Tan said because if you don't have a building that has been to so much fierce weather and a lot of vandalism, our country will feel like there is no motivation and there's no hope, and like they will look at other countries like Dubai and America, and they have really beautiful buildings to represent their country. And I think it's really, really important to preserve these historical buildings because each of them has an amazing story to tell.
Alright, thank you. Alright.
Okay, I think it's just outside the discussion. Okay, Monisha, I think you have to be careful with the TH sounds, yeah? It's okay, you articulate it because besides that, your articulation is good. Okay, I don't have any issues with your articulation. Okay, and yeah, you pronounce most words correctly. Yeah, I like to view of okay.
Good job.
Good job.
Well
Just one word of advice. Don't use the word guys. Right? What do you guys think? Try to be a little bit more formal language. Guys is a slang. Try not to use that. Okay, that's my only advice. Good job.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. We enjoyed that. Thank you.
Anugerah, you have to learn how to control your nervousness because you can feel the tremor. Actually, you can
Towards the end.
Towards the end, you
just breathe and
feel like
you're
crying.
stressed. Okay, then
But good.
Right, okay,
are
this
very
is-
composed.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
It's
Yeah.
the last question from me. I wanted to ask, which building would you visit? Which historical buildings?
Your favorite.
Your favorite one. Which one would you?
The Opera House.
Ooh. What, not in Malaysia then? Opera House in Paris, yes?
I visit the Louvre Museum in Paris.
That's that in Paris as well, yeah. The Mona Lisa, yeah.
I would like to visit the Leaning Tower of Pisa because it's like leaning and I feel it's like kind of interesting.
Yeah, we have one in Teluk Intan.
The Leaning Tower of
Teluk Intan, yeah. All right, okay. Keep that spirit. You're proud of her.
Can we just like know your background? Just we are interested. Okay, your father, your mother, what's that?
Well, my father is an Indian and he works as a police. He's from India, but I think he has very good English. He teaches me English, and this is one of the reasons why I entered NILAM. My mother is a Sarawakian, and she's also a police.
Oh,
She teaches me to be confident always, and I appreciate that.
Are you the only child?
No, I have one small sister. Only two of us. I'm the eldest one.
Well, my mother is a doctor and my dad is a businessman. He is the boss of the Honda company.
Honda.
My dad has been living in Australia for 10 years, and
Okay.
he teaches me to be confident and to be true to yourself and true to everyone else.
That is, yeah.
My dad is an engineer and like a mechanic, and my mom is an accountant. My mom teaches me to be strong and brave, and my dad teaches me to speak for others and not just let others get bullied in my school.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Well done. Well done.
Thank
Very
you
nice
so
background.
much. Yeah. All right.
Thank you so
Can I
much.
have
Very
that piece of
colourful.
paper that you've written?